Namaskar and good evening, everyone. Aarti, Aditi, and I, Rekha Shani, welcome each one of you to Nexus of Good Mumbai chapter this evening. Hope you all are keeping well wherever you are. It's lovely to meet some of you very recently, and some of you who have been a part of Nexus of Good. We are meeting you all for the first time. This evening, the Mumbai chapter is presenting to you all two wonderful NGOs from Mumbai, PCGT, Public Concern for Governance Trust, and Toy Bank, based in Mumbai. This evening, as we know, is dedicated to the good work done by people in our various cities. Nexus of Good, as we know, was started by Mr. Anil Swarup. This evening, he might not be able to join us, as his message has said he's not keeping too well due to COVID. But, I see sir joining. Has he joined? That would be wonderful if he has. Aditi, can you see? Yes.
Yes, we have sir here with us.
Yes, we have sir with us, though we can't, at least I can't see him. Welcome, sir, and thank you for being a part of this evening. Really, really appreciate it wherever you are.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm not well. I thought I'll just be a listener today.
Yes.
Please carry on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I would introduce the first group that is going to make its presentation today, and that is the Public Concern for Governance Trust. And we have with us two members from their team, three members actually, but I would introduce you all. Shivan Jain Kakadia, who's a qualified lawyer at Bombay Bar, specializing in constitutional law and commercial disputes resolution. He's graduated from the Government Law College, Mumbai, and has received the Nivedita Nathani Memorial Award for Leadership and Academic Excellence. He's a visiting professor of Law College and has delivered lectures and seminars on topics related to the Constitution, good governance, and rule of law in various educational institutions across the country and on international platforms like TEDx. He's at PCGT and consultant, and he looks into the Youth for Governance program at PCGT. So welcome, Shivam. We also have Yashaswita here, who's going to be speaking to about her project at PCGT, and she is the project manager of the Kuch Aur. She's been with Public Concern for Governance Trust for the last 5 years and manages projects, conducts sessions with students and teachers in various schools and communities on various values. She is a social worker by education and has been with the PCGT. Welcome, Yashaswita. We also have Raj Batra from PCGT. So welcome, Raj. May I now request Shiva to start your presentation, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the kind introduction, and a sincere thanks to the Nexus of Good for sharing such stories about organizations that matter, and in the in the era filled with negativity, those who are doing good work should be acknowledged and their work should be known to many people. PCGT is one such organization. PCGT stands for Public Concern for Governance Trust. This organization was founded in the year 2002 by three very eminent citizens, Mr. J.F. Ribeiro, who served as the Commissioner of Mumbai Police, Shri B.G. Deshmukh, who was the Cabinet Secretary, and Dr. R.K. Anand, who served as the Director of Jaslok Hospital. Initially, it started as an organization to curb corruption and ensure transparency and accountability and governance. And today we are spread into different verticals, being the Youth for Governance, Kuch Aur, as well as Right to Information and Right to Services. All these verticals being supervised by different trustees who have wide experience in public life. Our chairman is Mr. V.P. Raja, who is a retired IAS officer And Kuchor program is being supervised by Rekha ma'am, who, as you all know, has been in the field of education for nearly 3 decades. And she's donning 2 hats today. So this is how the organization structure is. YFG is one project which was started in 2012. In fact, that's how I also got associated with PCGT. Because for the very first time, I recall for the annual event in YFG, it was in 2014, I believe, we had Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, late Dr. Kalam, the former president of India, as the speaker. And later on, this is one program which motivated me to join PCGT as an intern. It aims at creating leaders amongst the youth we work with. The projects are created and run by our field officers in conjunction with our monthly interns, campus ambassadors, lead ambassadors. I'll speak about these programs later, as well as NSS volunteers across Mumbai under the guidance and supervision of our field officers. Right now, we have Raj, who is the program executive for Youth for Governance, and he himself was a campus ambassador as well as NSS volunteer at HR College. And now he's, of course, working with PCGT. So this is how we have the Youth for Governance vertical, and we take up a lot of projects. So some examples are given here. One is this Vigilant Voter program, wherein we registered more than 2,500 new voters last year during the summary revision of electoral rolls and extended our support to the Election Commission of Maharashtra. Then we have a project which is going on, Casteism in Prison, wherein a detailed research is being done by our interns, and a paper has also been written, which is published by Lok Satta in Marathi and Project 39A of National Law University, Delhi. We also have a Cyber Watch booklet, which is available on our website, pcgt.org. And it is also an initiative by one of our former interns in order to educate the youth and laymen on how to be safe online. The project started off as a research project. As I told you, every month we have interns and we undertake different projects with them. And this project actually developed into something more concrete, which is in the form of booklet on cyber safety. We had the privilege of receiving the guidance of Mr. Nandakumar Sarvade, who's the former CEO of the Reserve Bank of India's IT subsidiary on this. And right now this booklet is on our website. Constitutional Literacy Program, well, that's Ruchi Bhagat. She was also an NSS volunteer and a student at GLC. Later on, she joined PCGT, inspired by the vision of our trustees. And she played an instrumental role. She was the program manager for Youth for Governance before recently getting selected into the judiciary. So she herself started a program which is called as Constitution Literacy Program. And through this program, we aim to reach out to as many colleges and communities as possible and make them aware about the basic rights and duties which are enshrined in the Constitution. We feel that the study of the Constitution should not be restricted to the colleges, and it should be spread to the masses. And therefore, this is one endeavor wherein we take sessions with different schools, colleges, and communities to make them aware about the rights and duties which are enshrined in the Constitution. Yes, you can see this wonderful street play on women safety, very beautifully curated again by Raj and Ruchi, and they have been, in touch with NSS volunteers all across Mumbai. So this is one such initiative wherein we collaborate with the NSS unit and we spread awareness about women's safety through a street play at the Gateway on the Women's Day. This is a street play on manual scavenging. Raj, I believe this is at the Churchgate station. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
No, this is at the Chembur station.
Yeah, this is at the Chembur station, and we conducted one similar street play at the Churchgate station as well, I believe. Yes. Kuchor, the best person to speak about it would be the program manager of Kuchor, which is Ms. Yashaswita Anand. So I will just request her to please brief us about this program.
Thank you so much, Shivam. Thank you. Yes, Raj. Kuchor. Kuchor started in the year of 2008. Kuchor focuses on value education for responsible citizen, and we cater to the municipal and state board schools. We have been invited by central and international board as well. Apart from school, we have also conducted workshop for principals, teachers, and parents. Through our sessions, students interact freely and understand why value are so important in daily life. Next. So we have a partner NGO, Children of the World Navi Mumbai, where we more than 300 students participate in the session. Every week we have a different kind of session with the community. We believe in activity-based session where we promoted two-way communication and equal participation from all. During the pandemic, we had online sessions with the schools and communities on daily basis, covering more than 2,000 students. Some of the values we interacted with students: appreciation, compassion, honesty, peace, relationship, unity, happiness, respect, environment, etc. This is a picture. Mentorship program. So during lockdown, we started a program called Mentorship Program online in 2020. We started the program with 50 students from different school in the Mumbai. The program was for the students of standard 8 to 12. The aim to start this initiative was to encourage the student who were forced to be indoors and give the students exposure to values, as we believe that children are the leaders of tomorrow. So another program is started like just mentorship program से next program aim this initiative was to give a platform to promote and carry forward Kuchor work in the school in an organized manner. The position of school ambassador is voluntary and required commitment of 12 months. Sorry. Roles and responsibility of school ambassador: promoting the vision and mission of PCGT and Kuchor, assist PCGT in organizing event and session, participate in Kuchor events. Benefit of being a Kuchor school ambassador. Sorry, कुछ दूसरी आवाज नहीं आ रही है ना शिवम?
No, please continue.
Yeah. Develop understanding of value, education, public speaking, networking, and communication. Interaction with the PCGT. After the completion of the school ambassador program, we give certificate of excellence in provide of successful completion of the role. Yes, thank you, Shivam.
All right. So this is one project which is called Compassionate Policing, which was started by PCGT in 2005, and it gained momentum in the year 2019-20. These sessions are held at the Marwal Police Training Center in batches of 200 police knights and inspectors who have been in service for more than 10 years. We have trained more than 650 of them so far from various cities and districts across Maharashtra. The focus is on the physical, mental, and emotional health of the police officers through stories, anecdotes, music, dance, and silence time early in the morning and between the sessions. You can see there in the pink kurta, that's Dr. Harish Shetty. He's a very renowned psychiatrist, and he is conducting a session with the police officers. The idea is to build a bond between the police and the civilians. And various experts and volunteers have contributed to this program. Rekha ma'am herself is the director of this program. And students of various schools have also showcased their talent during the sessions. Yes, now I will be talking about leadership projects. Actually, so what you have seen so far is actually more of the Youth for Governance and Kuchor, which Yashaswita is the program manager for. Now, I will be talking about leadership projects and RTI. Now, leadership projects have been started under the Youth for Governance itself in the year 2019. And I said earlier in the presentation that I will talk about the Campus Ambassadors and the Lead Ambassadors program. Actually, those two programs are a part of these leadership projects. Yes, Raj, next slide. So leadership projects include three major projects. One is the Campus Ambassadors Program. Second is the Lead Ambassadors Program. And third is the PCGT National Youth Parliament. Now, the Campus Ambassadors Program actually it started in the year 2019 itself. And we have various leaders, student leaders who have been appointed in different colleges as ambassadors because they have shown tremendous passion and vision towards what we have as the basic inherent values, including good governance, sadbhavna in citizens, and taking the value of transparency and accountability in governance forward. So these ambassadors play a key role in organizing different events in their colleges. And what they essentially do is they act as our eyes and ears, because we are a small organization, to be very honest with you. We don't have, chapters all across the country. We are not spread all across the country. So we need the support of the youth to take our vision forward, and campus ambassadors play a crucial role in that. Raj, if you could go to the previous slide, please. Lead ambassadors, on the other hand, are those successful campus ambassadors who want to do something more. Now, we feel that if we reappoint them as campus ambassadors, then it will amount to repeating the same experience. So what we do instead is we appoint them as lead ambassadors, and they play a larger role in helping PCGT organizing some of its events, including the conclave that we started last year, and the one-day RTI-RTS training program, which is held annually. The first edition of this RTI-RTS training was held offline at IMC, and since then we have been continuing it online. In the screenshot, you can see Mr. Aspi Chenoy, Senior Counsel of the Bombay High Court, delivering a session as a part of the PCGT conclave. And on the other screenshot, you can see Mr. Ribeiro, Mr. Ghulam Vahanwati, our trustees at PCGT, along with Mr. Satish Shani, the former Commissioner of Mumbai Police, indulged in a panel discussion on communal harmony as a part of the conclave itself. Third project is PCGT National Youth Parliament. Yes, Raj. So this Youth Parliament serves as an ideal platform for the students to understand the legislative process and functioning of the Parliament, as well as to analyze the issues that are current and relevant from socio-legal perspective. Nearly 150 students participated in the NYP 2021. The 2022 edition will be held in the month of July. And we started actually in the year 2019. That was the first time we hosted this conference, and that is Honorable Justice B.N. Sri Krishna, former judge of the Supreme Court, who served as the chief guest for the offline edition of this conference, which was held in the year 2019. And we have different mock committees: Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, press, etc. So students actually step into the shoes of the lawmakers, the legislators, and they have to understand the current issues of the country. So every year we decide agendas for each and every committee. And every year we have a debate in each of these committees in which students participate in a mock parliament. So this is not an actual parliament, obviously. This is a mock parliament wherein students nurture some of the good values of our parliamentarians. And we hope that they take those good values, discard the bad values, and uphold the constitution. Yes. RTI, RTS vertical. I wanted to speak more about it, but due to paucity of time, I won't be able to. But yes, I must mention this to you, that this is one of the most powerful laws to ensure transparency and accountability in governance. This is very, very important for PCGT. Our RTI mentor, Mr. D.S. Rangarao, is present in this meeting, and he has been the force, behind this program, and he has mentored hundreds and hundreds of students on RTI through the internship program. So many sessions have been conducted in different colleges on RTI. We have had speakers like Mr. Shailesh Gandhi, former CIC, to take these sessions for us. We have also had sessions with communities, and I think most importantly, we help people in filing RTI applications. As I said, the lead ambassadors organize the RTI RTS training program every year. I think this poster is for the training that was organized last year, yes, on the 14th of March. So this year also we had a similar training, which was a one-day training program on right to information and right to services. And we have had multiple, we have seen a huge number of participants attend that actually, and they have to file an RTI, and we help those participants in filing an RTI. We of course give them reasonable time to do so. And this is just one of the ways. So even in our office, Rao sir has been very helpful, very approachable, and there have been many success stories about RTI, wherein sir, along with our trustees, have played a crucial role in ensuring that it reaches to the poorest of the poor, and it reaches to people who can actually benefit from it. And the perception that we largely have, and unfortunately some of the remarks which come in from the judiciary also saying that it is misused and all that. It's not true to the extent that we have seen the good impact that it has also had on the people of our country. So this is, as I said, paucity of time. It's already 5:20, so I won't take more time. But RTI is something, which I would have loved to, speak about more, share more stories, but perhaps I can send an email about it to all of you. So thank you so much for your time and for giving us this space. We are very grateful to the Nexus of Good. We are very grateful to Aditi ma'am and Rekha ma'am for being so kind, patient, and being super cooperative. And we hope we did a decent job at explaining to you what PCGD does. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shivam. Thanks. You are brilliant as usual. But we promise we come back to you after Aditi introduces the toy bank and Shweta. But like some of the messages came to me privately, a lot of people are surprised that the PCGT works. I'm glad you spoke about it. And please keep up the good work. We'll come back to you after toy bank. Aditi, may I now request you to introduce toy bank to the group, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Shivam and Yashaswita.
Did we lose her somewhere? Yashaswita, can you hear her?
No, ma'am.
Said would request the audience to park the gap between at-risk children and their mental well-being as well as cognitive development.
Aditi, we actually missed a big part of what you were saying because your screen froze.
I am so sorry about that. Is this better?
Yeah, but just start again, Aditi, please.
Sure. Our next guest this evening is Shweta Chari, an electronics engineer. Shweta is driven by the need to bridge the gap between at-risk children and their mental well-being, as well as cognitive development well within our lifetime. She founded the Open Tree Foundation in 2004 and champions the cause of mainstreaming play in India. Cognizant of the power of play in strengthening the early years so that children grow up to be well-rounded adults, Shweta spends time building the Open Tree Foundation's Play to Learn program. Over to you, Shweta, to tell us more about the Play to Learn program.
Thank you so much, Aditi. Really nice to be here. I'm very excited to speak about this work that we've been so passionately doing for so many years. And I'm so happy that I'm able to speak to an audience such as you and Nexus of Good. I've heard so much. I've been on the group and followed all the work that you have been doing. And it's a privilege to be able to participate and speak in a forum like this. So very, very grateful for the invitation. I just want to quickly, I'm just going to run through the slides, but really it's the essence of propagating play and making life better for the children of India. That's really the crux of why we exist as an organization. Every time I read this line, right, you can spend a lifetime trying to forget a few minutes of childhood, and it still rattles me up every time I see this, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much work that needs to be done. I don't want our kids to grow up having to forget their childhoods. I want them to remember it, in fact, with fondness and feel happy about it. But unfortunately, a lot of our kids have a very raw deal and aren't able to experience a childhood that they ideally should. So this is the ethos of our organization. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men and women, we've added. Frederick Douglass, in fact, was the man who had said this long ago. He was a child slave himself. And for somebody like him to have taught himself to read and write, to grow up, fight for the rights, human rights, and be a big part of the anti-slavery movement, to actually say it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men, I think is extremely powerful and a deep validation of how crucial it is to have a healthy and a happy childhood, because it really is a defining point for everything we do the rest of our lives. This photograph that you see is not of the internet. This is a photograph. Actually, I clicked this in the Eastern Express Highway a few months ago, and it's again a reminder. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I feel like I still just started out. There is such a lot of work that needs to be done. Look at these kids who are balloon vendors at a signal near Science Circle, and they're playing with something they just found on the street. And for those few moments, they've like completely forgotten their life, their pains, their sorrows, even their hunger. Probably God only knows when they ate last. And they've just in a blissful play world, a little world created, not bothered about who's watching them and what's happening. They've got a stone and a wooden plank, and they've just sat here and created something, and they were continuously playing. And it was incredible to see how involved they were in this simple thing. And it's a reminder for me all the time that if we're able to, I mean, I take it to the extreme that we really need to mainstream play and play-based learning in India. And if children are able to learn through play, there is so much about themselves and the world around them that they're able to learn. I'll walk you through this little concept that we propagate in our organization. It's basically called the conscious play approach. It's got nothing to do with the child who's receiving this. It's mainly the facilitation. Whether we are parents, caregivers, teachers, whoever we may be as facilitators, if we are mindful and conscious of how we facilitate, but in our case, it's called conscious play because we are play facilitators. We are constantly providing play-based learning to our kids. And so this is our vision. Even if you see this lady in this photograph, Rashmin, she's one of our program officers, simple game of blocks with alphabets and numbers, with just her involvement and her participation with these little kids as a facilitator is so crucial in how children learn. Children needn't be bothered. They subconsciously keep picking up things. They subconsciously are like they're blotting papers, they're constantly absorbing things. And it's extremely important for us to be mindful again of how we are involved and engaged with them. And that's one of the things in our programs, whatever programs we may be running in our organization, the approach is always called as a conscious play approach. And therefore, to build a world where all children are empowered through conscious play has become our vision of our organization. Before I get into where we are today as an organization, I really want to take you through this journey. Why do I do what I do? Why is this so important? Where was the genesis? And like back in, and this is like all the way from 2004. In 2004, I was about 21 years old. So I clearly, straight out of engineering, I didn't have much grasp about so many things of the social sector space. I hadn't studied. It's one of my greatest regrets. I keep taking courses here and there to actually understand the social space and the real knowledge that would have been very, very useful in my early years, especially. But having said that, experience has also been very, very important for me because I've learned so much along the way. So many mistakes also have been made, and therefore so many new learnings. 2004 to 2009, we didn't even register this. Like I actually made a promise to myself. So straight out of engineering, I actually wanted to standard practice, give your GRE and GMAT or whatever. I was giving all those exams and wanted to go and do my master's. And in between, I started volunteering actually with a small home in near my place, where there were a lot of young kids who were boys who had basically been rescued from the streets. And I didn't realize at the time that these kids were actually, wanted to, they all had aspirations and they all wanted to grow up and be somebody and become somebody. But back in 2004, when I was, I was basically teaching them maths. With my background, the non-profit there wanted me to teach them maths. And I realized that none of these kids were really interested in mathematics. And I figured what's happening, why are they not interested? And I surveyed, I said, listen, I'm not going to teach for one day. I just want to observe and understand what's really happening. And not to my surprise, I realized that like me, there were a lot of people coming and teaching these kids. So then that got me curious as to why are these kids only going through tuition classes? When are they really playing? And there was no idea of play or toy bank or any of these things at the time. I took permission and I said, listen, I just want to play with these kids. So I played box cricket, land and water, soccer, you name all these games. And that's all I really did for the next few weeks. The NGO people were wondering, what is this girl up to? Because I clearly was not like with my math books to teach them. And that's when I realized that the minute I started interacting and there was so much of connection that took place, I learned about these kids and their stories. It was heart-wrenching. Like that for me, the earth below me really shook. That was really the genesis. I figured that all of these young boys, max age must have been 11 years. And the youngest must have been about 6. All of them were abused. And they didn't even realize that they were abused. They thought it's normal. They thought aise hota hai. And I couldn't believe my ears when they were talking about abuse in such a normal way. Like as though it's like, why are you looking even surprised kind of a thing. And that got me deeply thinking and worried, what's really going on with our kids in our country? So really speaking, like Toy Bank started as a volunteer-based organization, and we steadily started working with the kids on a voluntary basis. We weren't even registered as a non-profit, and volunteering karte, we reached out to we were in about 6 or 7 states as volunteers. We put in our own money. I was working in a corporate job back then, so I could pay my bills and do this on weekends and every public holiday. But then in 2009, it had reached to an extent that I forgot that, oh yeah, by the way, I said goodbye to my masters and stuff by then. So I deep dived into this and I was doing a job. But the point of this is that this was the genesis to a lot of things that happened later. We registered this as a trust. We had a fab board of trustees. They gave us a lot of insightful wisdom in the early years for us to set the foundation. I think somebody's mic is on, but yeah. And steadily, we started pushing play. So, which is why the name. Our name today has nothing to do with what the organization really does. We started as a toy bank, where we were collecting morally good games and toys and distributing them to children. And we were only distributing them to children who went to schools. We consciously never distributed toys to street kids. One of it was very hard to do that. But the reason why we did that was we realized the street was not a safe space for the child. And if you give games and toys on the street, then what's going to motivate them to get out of the streets? We actually used to do a lot of events. In the early days, we had magicians and clowns and storytellers and musicians. And we used to go into government schools and actually have one-on-one distribution with events and activities. So the children who were not receiving on the streets, their parents used to come and say, "Mere bachcho ko bhi dena, please." And with a heavy heart, we used to say, "Nahi, pehle school mein bharti karna." And that is really how we used to motivate so many kids started coming back to school. And it was a very exciting phase. Then from 2009 to 16, again, let me keep telling this to you that play was never understood. Till today, I'm sure many of us in this audience as well will be wondering, oh, it's just time pass. It is, but it's constructive time pass. It needs to be done. We all need it, no matter what age we are in. So from 2009 to 16, we actually started pushing harder because now we were registered. We were armed with 1 or 2 team members, and we knew what we wanted to do to some extent. And we started setting up play centers within the premises of other non-profits, government schools, you name it. These were mainly to address, there was a bad need for educational games, but there was no idea how to use these educational games. So we started creating trainings. simple trainings for teachers to learn how to use board games and how they can integrate this inside of their classrooms. So this steadily as the years went by, till about the pandemic hit, we today have a very, very structured program. We have close to 450 play to learn centers based in the state of Maharashtra, and we work in about 12 districts. We've done a lot of homework now over the course of the years. There's a lot of information and knowledge that we've gained about the topic of play, and I'm going to get into that very, very quickly. This is the spread, and we are heavily in the state of Maharashtra. We want to make Maharashtra the center of excellence, and we would like to sort of other states to emulate this model eventually. And that's the direction we're working towards. Every day we work with about 60,000 plus kids. And of course, during the pandemic, we also digitally spread our work. And just to give you a sense, we got extremely worried during the pandemic. It's so physical play. How the hell are we going to do this in a digital platform? But not surprising, we did. And the beauty of it was there was pull and not push. We got pulled by the teachers from the government schools into their PTA WhatsApp groups, telling us that please don't stop your play program because that is the only constructive engagement through play we can have with our kids. And because of them, we steadily actually got into all the support WhatsApp groups with all our partners. I mean, I can quickly share, we're almost in close to about 700 WhatsApp support groups, which have close to 12,000 plus parents and teachers and caregivers on it. And it's a fab experience because we are very glad to see that play is being at least understood to this extent by educators themselves. During the pandemic, we also managed to spread to other states in the country. We collaborated with a whole bunch of nonprofits. Beautiful experiences in Madhya Pradesh through Seva Kutir. We also worked briefly for a few months. We were in Manipur. Ladakh is actively running. And these are places we can only dream of, like actually to take play. But the pandemic was an ulta boon for us because we actually managed to spread play to so many new territories. Also, to quickly give you a sense, we got a professional to even build out the play to learn digital kits for us. These were all codified. It was easy to train the teachers on how to use these activities. Each sheet was defined for ages of learning, and a lot of the impact that we got through this became much easier to track because the sheets itself were designed in a way that was very easy to track this. This is just to give you a sense of every day we get so many glimpses of what's going on with our kids. Messages like this keep popping up in our WhatsApp groups saying thank you to us, teachers getting involved, letting us know if they want something else, they want something deeper, maybe English learning activities, they want specifically for a certain subject that they're looking for. Our team even pivoted to the extent that we adapted the entire program to align with the NCERT curriculum, and we use a Diksha app. So all of the class curriculums were converted into play-based learning. And it was topics that they would have ideally maybe learned if they were in a physical classroom. But what we looked at was conceptually, can we at least address these sessions that were designed by the teachers, and through a play-based way, can the kids continue to learning so that the learning gap does not increase. That was the goal with which we built this up. Today we are crazily working towards scale. The entire readiness to paint this country yellow. Yellow is our color. We want play to be everywhere, every nook and corner of India. What do we need to do in order to achieve that? And we're literally like crazy people working. Our team, in fact, doubled during the last 2 years. Still, they're very small. They're about 32, 33 people, but extremely passionate, involved team members who are working together, continues to build out the systems, the processes. And our whole goal in the next 5 years is to reach out to at least 1 million kids to start off with. Quickly, what is play? There's a scientist called Dr. Stuart Brown, and he's an unbelievable psychiatrist who's actually done a lot of research. It's very interesting. He's done a lot of research on criminals and people who committed heinous crimes. So he sat in jails to understand what's got these people to commit such deep level crimes. They're hardcore criminals. And to cut his research and simplify it for this audience right now, it's a very long research. But really speaking, he traced it all back to the paucity of play in early childhood. And his entire readings, and every time we hear him also, this man is constantly talking and harping about how powerful early childhood play-based learning is. And for him to trace criminals back to not having a healthy, happy, playful childhood is a serious evidence of that. And we've adopted and adapted some of the definitions of play. It's apparently purposeless. Yes, it is. It doesn't directly help in food or money. It's done for its own sake. It's not obligatory. We are free when we play. It's completely non-obligatory. It's fun. It makes you feel good. It completely clears your boredom. Like you're sitting bored or something, you will probably doodle, you'll do something, or your kids love to play. It's natural to them. It completely takes away the self-consciousness. When you're playing, it doesn't matter if you're awkward. You stop thinking about the fact that, oh, we are thinking and we need to be looking intelligent. It doesn't matter if we look intelligent or stupid or awkward. We're truly in the moment when we play. And of course, continuously, there is no result per se. You can continuously keep improvising when you're playing. That's another beautiful thing. And of course, it can never stop. Even as adults, if you're playing, it's all ek aur, or ek baar. This goes on, and it's like continuously we find ways to keep playing and never stop. In the early days, we used to have a tough problem, and I'm going to end this in like 2 minutes. We had a very difficult problem in the early days of what is the impact? So, iske wajah se kya? Indian context mein to bolo. Nobody used to buy into this. Play is serious, and it's serious for as children grow up. Like early childhood play-based learning is the ultimate way of providing inputs for a well-rounded adult. So we did some research and we found a fab research called the Jamaican Study. It's a 22-year-old research. It was continuously done for the same set of kids. It's funded by World Bank, and it's one of the best research that has proved how much play is relevant. There was a serious problem in Jamaica where the children used to get into substance abuse very easily, and they could never get out of the deep poverty levels in Jamaica. So the question was, what will motivate these kids when they become young adults to pluck out of this and get out and make better life choices, basically, get out of this whole rut. And for this, they basically had done the research with the same set of 120 kids. They'd broken them down into 4 groups. One group got only play. One group got play and nutrition. One got only nutrition, no play. And one was a control group to assess. And guess what? The long-term effects were only observed in the group that had play and nutrition, of course. Absolutely no long-term, there was only nutrition. And this, I'm telling you again, this is a 20+ year continuous study. These were the fascinating readings. For me, what completely excites me is that when these kids who had play in their early childhood were put into good schools, in those schools, they not only caught up with their peers in their studies, but they actually outed them. It completely beat them also. So they actually had a major advantage, which is massive. Like 98% of the children were employed by the time they were 22 years old, which is so superb. Even if I read the entire research, one of the key things that I took away is they made super solid life decisions. They had good life partners. They were settled in other countries, had gotten out of Jamaica, and some of them are even altruistic and doing some really good work themselves in the space of charity. So it was fab to understand these aspects. We did an Indian version of the same thing in Malad, Malwani. We did a 3-year assessment, baseline, midline, endline. The biggest problem in Malwani was no space, really small cramped up houses. Kids didn't have play spaces. The problem statement given to us by the teachers was, number one, they don't trust us. We want to help these kids, but they don't trust us. And how can we build that trust with our kids? Because they are so aggressive. And really speaking, we didn't do some wonder world science in this space. We just ramped up our play activities, our play curriculum. We conducted far more trainings for the teachers. We wanted them to become play practitioners themselves. For 3 years, we did this assessment, and very quickly we saw 10 times increase in curiosity levels of these kids from what they started out in year 1 and where they were in year 3. 5 times increase in this honesty levels is very, very important, because this showed that children actually trusted their teachers, and the bonding between the students and teachers really got deeper, which is so beautiful. So a lot of these readings took place. I know I don't have time. I have a lovely video, but I can't show it, so I'm not going to. But I just want to tell you that I do this because, this, I just read this. It's a beautiful line, okay? The truth is, when our mothers held us, rocked us, stroked our heads, none of us ever got enough of that. We all yearn in some way to return to those days when we were completely taken care of. Unconditional love, unconditional attention. Most of us didn't get enough of that. This line, I mean, it's stuck in my desk somewhere always, because while the curriculum or the course or the medium you're using is play, I can't be there for all children and provide the love and affection that I would love to. But I believe, and I know for a fact through the years of work and efforts we put in, play does that. And play automatically makes children feel wanted, feel cared for, feel loved, less abandoned. It so fiercely does this so quickly. So I think one of the things, I don't want to stop till we achieve this. This is a big goal. This is the last slide. Is we're really trudging along to work towards the right to play at a policy level change. It needs to be mainstream. We need to have play-based milestones. They need to become a common language. Play has to be factored in school curriculums. It can't just be time pass. Let it be time pass for children who receive it. But as facilitators, we need to be conscious of this. And we definitely want play, because it's such a crucial tool for learning. It absolutely needs to be taken seriously in our country. It has to some extent in some of the Western world, but I wish in India this happens, and I want to do this in my lifetime. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing. The energy and the passion, it shows so much. And the way she ends with that, in my lifetime, you have got a life ahead of you. When I heard both of them, Shivam's passion for constitutional literacy, for law, for his ambassadors. And when I say, I feel if nothing else, these two need to collaborate and do things together because of the passion that they have. And Nexus of Good does focus on what we can replicate, and what we can replicate in a big way. And what both of you spoke, I think has been fantastic. I'll get back to you. Aditi would like to speak and take over some questions if there are any. Over to you, Aditi.
No, I think I fully second what you're saying, Mrs. Shahani. It's been a very, very inspiring evening. It's been amazing to see PCGT's relentless effort towards mobilizing and motivating citizens to participate in governance issues, empowering them with with information about the Right to Information Act, the right to services. And, I fully agree with Shivam. These are such powerful tools that citizens have and probably don't know enough about it. But what touched a chord for me with PCGT also is that the focus on school-going children and students, and just ensuring that we have a next generation that is also motivated to build a better India and motivated to participate in governance. Shweta, extremely, extremely inspiring. there's a lot of that I could personally resonate with. My love for math comes from the fact that my father always insisted on teaching me math through play, through examples of 2 Melody chocolates, etc., etc. So totally resonate with everything that you've shared. But there again, I think really, really inspiring to see the scale that you've achieved, particularly through the pandemic, and you know your focus on taking this ahead across the country. So fabulous, and I think big congratulations to both teams and other colleagues from both these organizations who are here. With that, let's open this up to any questions that the audience may have. Shweta, would you like to share a link to the video that you weren't able to share?
We do have Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava, who is a school and college principal. We have Dr. Anand with us too. I can see that. So Sangeeta or anybody else has question with these two?
Definitely, it was a very, I would say, eye-opener session for me. That this PCGT I already know, but the toy library,
Bank. Yeah.
toy bank thing is an eye-opener. And I've been looking for such thing, and as if it was a like it just came into my lap. I just felt while I was listening to you, and here I am, and I would definitely like to connect with her and be a part of it. I don't know how we can be a part of it. We have so many students, and we have been thinking about a toy bank in school, but somehow we never got around it, how to do it. So.
And Shivam, I'm introducing you to a lady who has a law college also and all the colleges. So connecting again, both of you.
Yes, definitely. We'll do that very soon.
More than happy to connect with you, Ms. Sangeeta. Thank you so much for your kind words. I mean, I'm just going to put my email ID and contact details, and we'll be very, very happy to
she's there on the Nexus of Good Bombay group also. She's based in Bombay, so y'all can connect.
Yes. Thank you.
Do you all want to, Shivam, do you want to say anything as the last word from your side?
No, not really. But I was anticipating some questions. So I think we did a very good job, or we did not. So I'm being a positive-minded person, courtesy the trustees, I would assume the former.
Actually, I have a small question. I just wanted to understand where as a part of the Kuchhor program, you had mentioned that a number of virtual sessions were conducted with the children. I wanted to understand how was it. I'm assuming that the children would have also faced difficulties in terms of getting access to mobile phones, getting access to stable internet. So how is it that you all help them overcome that? And what was the process and the thinking behind that?
So we basically did not help them to get the devices or the network and all, because we did ask the schools whether we could provide, but they said no, because students were going through a stage where money was a main thing. So even if you gave them the device, they would sell it off, even if you gave them the data. But Sangeeta's school, they did provide them the devices and the data. And we did a lot of sessions with her school also. Even in the ambassadors program, the mentorship program, her school did fantastically well because the school provided it. But there were schools and communities that said don't. And as little it started opening, they did get the community children in a particular community sitting together with the mask, with a big screen. Many did not even have a big screen. But we did not, and when we are doing in a community, you know how it is a one room. So you're seeing clothes hanging there, you're seeing everything, night duties, auto rickshaw driver, parents, and so those days were very tough for us also, because we realized the children were feeling embarrassed. So we did tell them, okay, we trust you all can put off your cameras, because in that same room we could see the father sleeping, and lot of things that we also faced. But what your question was that as PCGT, we did not provide them with devices, or it was the schools and the communities that took up that responsibility. And we could do like we were doing on day-to-day basis, like the demand was really high. And the kids were contacting us directly also. Like we built up that bond. What is our USP? Like one is this RTI, RTS, and all is also this ambassadors program of college students, which is, thanks to Shivam, great success, I would say personally. And it shows because he really keeps them motivated, and the youth parliament. And, it's amazing. Sometimes you should really come and see how he does that. It's amazing. Different houses and Lok Sabha and legislative. It's like for us, it's like a big eye when we watch these. And when I was hearing both Shivam and Shweta, and I was saying, it's amazing what the youngsters can do today. Really, they're such inspiration, such inspiration.
Actually, very similar to what you said, Ms. Shahani, that even when we used to conduct our digital play to learn sessions as well, we also do not believe in providing mobile phones or internet packs. So one of the things that came as a suggestion from the schools was to change the timings of our sessions. So the teachers would let us know what time the children are available, or the parents are available. And a number of times, which was really fun for us, was initially it would be where the parents are very wary of what the children are doing on the phone. I mean, of course, when you say it's a play to learn session, they don't trust what that play session is. But a number of times we've also seen where a couple of sessions I've attended, which were led by volunteers, happened to be led by volunteers, was where the parents would join in and play as well. So that made it a lot of fun for us as the toy bank team, where we had to be on our toes throughout because the parents are really competitive. So that was also something really great for us. And just in general, we're seeing, like you said, that it's a way out for the children. And this assumption that we have that children don't want to learn, children just want to keep playing, wasting their time, that doesn't exist. I mean, it's just the medium. You're providing them with opportunities and being patient. I think that's how all of us learned as well.
I was thinking of collaboration, and because I love that play thing so much, I was going to say, what our success of this evening is when Shivam and Ayushi and Shweta collaborate and make all the lawyers also play, because we have this whole group of governance where we have these lawyers, and they are young students from Government Law College and other colleges. And I think one session, Shivam, we should do is play, Toy Bank and PCGT, and organize a play session.
100%. We actually love organizing, or even within the team as well. We have monthly town halls. Now they're all virtual. Sorry, we have these different kinds of games that we play. And it's that half an hour is actually the favorite part of the entire month for all of us. And we do also, along with different volunteer groups, organize play sessions as well. And like you said, I mean, the pandemic did bring out the worst for all of us as well, where we needed an outlet also. And play was that for us. So which is why I think the alignment with the cause has got much stronger for all of us in the team. But we would love to explore that for sure. And I can guarantee that the lawyers would be the best children probably then.
Yeah, because sometimes we forget the child in us, Yes. So this play is something that will really let us go ahead. And I like what she shared about, like 5 times increase the honesty level. So I think it really, really helps a lot, And this could be a very good example for us as PCGT also, because we talk about honesty and transparency. So how things can go together. But thank you, PCGT. Thank you, Toy Bank. on behalf of Aditi and I, we thank Mr. Anil Swarup for coming at least, so at least we felt he was there with us, though he's still in the hospital, but we pray he'll be well. We thank all the participants whom I can see on this screen, at least Dr. Anand, Venkatesh, Yashaswita, and all those who joined us on YouTube as well as on Zoom. Thank you very much. Any questions, please send it to us. And Nexus of Good is spreading the good work. So please keep on doing the fantastic work and keep spreading it. Aditi, last word. Otherwise, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a million.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.